What is the difference between a logo designer who charges £500 for a piece of work and a logo designer who charges £5,000 for a piece of work? I'll give you a hint, and it's something that you might not like to hear, but it's nothing to do with the skills or the capability of the designer. When I started out as a website designer, I couldn't believe how many terrible websites there were out there that the design company had charged thousands and thousands of pounds for. What were they doing that I wasn't doing? I knew I could do a better job than them, but I wasn't winning that work. I was scratching around with £500 projects. And you'll see this across the creative spectrum. It applies to brand designers, graphic designers, web designers, copywriters. We all struggle with the same stuff. We see our peers putting out work, and we know that we could do a better job than them, but we're not winning those projects. Why is that? Well, I have good and bad news. The good news is that the answer is really quite simple. The not so good news is that it's actually quite difficult to implement without a bit of practice. So the difference between a £500 logo designer and a £5,000 logo designer is in the journey and the experience that they give that customer. And at its core, it's about making that customer feel special, feel understood, feel seen. So a £500 logo designer might say, I can design you a logo and it's only going to cost you £500. Well, the prospective client probably thinks, yeah, that's not a bad deal. It's not too expensive. Sure, we'll go for this. A £5,000 logo designer, on the other hand, won't even talk about the logo design straight away. What they will do instead is they'll get to know that prospective customer and their business. They'll start asking them about what their aspirations are, what their experiences are, and what their overarching goals are in business, but also in life. What change is this person trying to make in the world? So imagine a new bakery has opened up on the street near where you live. This company is looking for somebody to give them a brand identity. The lower priced logo designer will jump in there with a proposal. Will say, oh, we can do this for you and it's only going to cost you this much. The £5,000 logo designer, on the other hand, will probably be more interested in why this person decided to open a bakery in the first place. What's their experience of this industry? Maybe they've had some great times on their travels visiting different cafes and they loved the personal touch that small neighbourhood bakeries brought to their community. The higher priced logo designer knows that it's actually not even about the logo or the brand. It's about the relationship that you have with that prospective client. If you can build some rapport with them, there's a higher probability that they're going to go with you over the cheaper logo designer who's less interested in the business and their story. And the better news is that when I say £5,000, well, for a lot of brand designers, that's a drop in the ocean. You're talking £15,000, £20,000, £30,000 per project if you can get the process right of understanding the prospective client and making them feel like you're invested in them. So the message here is to take your time with prospective clients. I used to jump in there with a proposal for my website projects that I thought gave them exactly what they wanted. But what I never really considered was that there is a human on the other side of that proposal with aspirations and goals and an entire history behind them. And if you take the time to get to know that person, they're going to respond well to that. And the magic thing is that once you've built that trust, you can command whatever rate you want for your work. So in a nutshell, that is the difference between a £500 logo designer and a £5,000, £10,000, £20,000 logo designer.